Hey guys, welcome back. So, today we're going to be doing something a little different. I'm going to start a new mini-series, which is I'm going to tell you ancient Greek myths while playing Minecraft. It's going to be great. So, today's going to be Bedwars and the tale of Orpheus and Eurydice. Let's go. So, to start, Orpheus and Eurydice, a very well-known tale. Orpheus was one of the only mortals ever who would ever seek to rival the gods with his music. It is said that he played so beautifully that not even the god of music himself, Apollo, could top his music. Orpheus was revered close to a god. He could strum the lyre so beautifully that it could melt the hearts of even the most stoic. So you can imagine, it wasn't too hard for Orpheus to woo the maiden he loved, a young beautiful girl named Eurydice. She loved him, they loved each other, and they would have been happy if not for an ill-fated night on their wedding night. Now, on their wedding night, Eurydice was overjoyed. She could not wait to spend the rest of her life with Orpheus and he with her. However, in her excitement, Eurydice went out to gather flowers in a field. Eurydice ran out into the field, barefoot, without any shoes on, and a viper stung her. That night, on her wedding night to Orpheus, Eurydice died. She and Orpheus would never have the life that they wanted together. Orpheus was destroyed, wrought with grief. He could not imagine living without his wife. Now, he knew he had power. He'd lived his entire life with people awing over his music. So he decided something. Orpheus would go down to the underworld and get his wife back himself. No one had ever done this before. People had tried and tried to bring loved ones back from the dead, but Hades always beat them. Hades was smart. However, Orpheus believed he had something else, his own power. And so, down to the underworld Orpheus went to try and bring the love of his life back. Orpheus walked the long road down to Hades, down into the deep depths of the underworld. And when he got there, he played his lyre and sung about his love for Eurydice. There, down in the depths of hell, Orpheus sang a song so sweet that for the first and the last time, the underworld fell still. Cerberus the guard dog relaxed, the faces of the Furies wet with tears, and Hades himself drew his wife closer to him, Persephone, the goddess of spring. Hades agreed, the stoic king of the underworld, who had never let anyone take back someone from the dead, from his domain, allowed Orpheus to take his bride and go. That is the power of Orpheus's music. However, his story isn't over. Hades was smart, so his permission came with a price. Orpheus could take his bride back on one condition. She must walk behind him the whole way, and he was never to look behind to make sure she was following. He said that if their love was truly that great and could endure, then he would have no problem. He would be able to trust her. Orpheus agreed, knowing it was the only deal he was going to get. So, out they walked. Eurydice walking behind Orpheus the whole way. He desperately wanted to turn around to make sure that she was still there, but he knew he couldn't. He just had to trust. It was agonizing. All Orpheus wanted to do was make sure that it wasn't some sort of trick, to make sure that Eurydice would truly be behind him the entire way. But he couldn't. But he showed incredible strength of will. He didn't look back. The blackness of the underworld turned gray, and even the gray began to fade to light as he saw the entrance ahead. He'd made it. He and Eurydice could go home, could live their lives together. He had successfully brought back someone from the underworld. Joyfully, Orpheus turned around to greet his love. But he realized he'd made a fatal mistake. Eurydice was still in the cavern, still on Hades' land. She had not made it out of Hades when he looked back and locked eyes with her, realizing in an instant what he'd done. She gave him a heartbroken look. Orpheus rushed to try and keep her from going, to embrace her. But she'd already vanished, with nothing but a farewell, a forlorn, single word. Farewell, Orpheus. Orpheus rushed back to try and go back down to the underworld, make another deal, ready to play his lyre again for the rest of his life if it meant he could get his love back. But the gods wouldn't allow it. They had been swayed by his lyre the first time, but they would not allow it again. No mortal, no living mortal, could ever go back into the land of the dead twice. Even once was almost unprecedented. So Orpheus was forced to leave, to go back, without Eurydice. He had failed. And that is how their story goes. A tragic tale of two lovers. Orpheus was destroyed. He could never do anything except blame himself ever again. He forsook the company of men and traveled for the rest of his life, just playing his lyre for the trees and the animals. Orpheus was never able to forgive himself, and only wished to go down to the underworld himself by death, so that he may be reunited with Eurydice. Many, many years later, when Orpheus was old, he got his wish, running into a pack of Bacchae, the mad followers of Dionysus, who tore the musician apart. The nymphs, the sweetly singing the sweetly singing tree fae, gathered up his body and buried it at the foot of Mount Olympus. And from then on, the nightingales have never sung quite as sweetly as they do at the base of that same mountain. Well, that was certainly a story, wasn't it? I hope you guys enjoyed this new idea I had. Let me know. Maybe it's something you guys would like to hear more of. I have no end of tales to tell. If you're interested in the myth of Orpheus and Eurydice, there's a great musical called Hadestown, which is one of the best musicals I've ever heard, and it tells the story through beautiful, beautiful tunes and in some greater detail. So I would recommend that if you're interested. Otherwise, thank you so much for watching. If you would like to request a myth to be told by me, I would gladly do that. Like and subscribe for more. Watch some other videos. Love you all. Bye-bye.